On today's show, a Manhattan Park monument gets a major renovation.
Also, after major rainstorms this week, we give you some severe weather safety tips.
And a look at the seniors that will be departing campus this upcoming week, all next on MHK All Day. Good morning, I'm Evan Penner.
And I'm Raina Garcia. And I'm sure everyone out there is just now drying off after all that rain that we had earlier this week.
Absolutely, Raina. We saw our first round of severe weather in Kansas this week, with most of the state getting drenched on Tuesday and Wednesday. 2018 marks the first year in almost 40 that Kansas went without a tornado in April. It's happened only 3 other times since recording started in 1950. But like clockwork, May 1st brought over a dozen tornadoes in Kansas and a few more during the second round of storms on Wednesday. According to weather.gov, Manhattan has received over an inch of precipitation this month alone, a welcome change from the first 4 months of the year, which have been behind on average rainfall. With the return of severe weather, it brings rain, but also danger for those who are caught outside. Here are a few things to keep you and your loved ones safe. If you don't already, have a disaster plan for you and your family for when at home or away. It can include things like checking the weather forecast before leaving the house by listening to commercial radio or cable TV for severe weather updates. Identify a safe place to take shelter, preferably a sturdy building, pre-designed shelter, or going to the lowest level of the building you're in. Make an emergency bag that contains medical needs, food, water, and a first aid kit. When severe weather threatens your area, check on people who are elderly, very young, or disabled.
A spoken word artist and activist joined K-State students to raise awareness about sexual violence. I visited with her to find out how her poetry provides healing.
I should make it home safe each night, even if my clothing's just my skin. I believe that women will rule the world. I don't know how and I don't know when. I am a feminist.
Enina J is a survivor. After being raped as a child by her uncle, she's used poetry as a way to heal and help other survivors of sexual violence find their voice.
When you show your own scars, can't nobody ever use them as a weapon against you. I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong with me. That way when you tell me what's wrong with me, I'm going to say yes. Because they use it as weapons against us. The fact that I was raped, the fact that I have trouble in relationships, the fact that I have abandonment issues, all of my issues came from someplace. Nothing exists in a vacuum. It's not my fault that I'm struggling like this.
Jay shared her story and poetry with other K-State students at Bosco Plaza Monday as part of the Take Back Our Lives rally in March. Those in attendance shared their stories, marched from the K-State campus through Aggieville, and finished the night off with music and barbecue. Take Back Our Lives is based off of the Take Back the Night March, which aims at putting a stop to sexual violence. Take Back Our Lives organizer Breasia Harris says that broadening the event helps acknowledge all of the struggles that those in the community are facing.
We wanted to make sure we talked about sexual violence, but we also were aware that there were also other struggles that people in our communities and also outside of our communities, and they were also dealing with different struggles. So we wanted to open it up so they can come here and talk about it and, share their stories.
For Enina J, sharing her story is how she chose to take back her life.
It's impossible to live lives as feeling human beings and not be hurting, not be depressed right now, not be wounded. But we can find power in those bruises and power in those wounds, and that's what I'm trying to do. Because I got the bruises, I got the scars. What am I going to do with them? They're not going to kill me. He's not going to kill me. So I'm going to use them for my own benefit, and that's how I use poetry.
Jay hopes that by sharing her experience, she can help other survivors feel less alone, and that by participating in events like Take Back Our Lives, together they can dismantle the shame associated with sexual violence victims and reclaim their power. It definitely takes a lot of courage to share such personal stories, and you can tell it definitely impacted those who got to hear her message.
A bill was passed by the Kansas Senate last week that may give Kansas State money that they lost after a recent education budget cuts. The restoration includes nearly $24 million in budget cuts that occurred to higher education last year. The bill was passed after leaders from Kansas State University, Kansas University, and Wichita State University wrote a letter to Kansas leaders asking for their support in passing this restoration bill. The bill will provide much-needed funds to Kansas State and may be instrumental in helping keep tuition lower in upcoming years.
The state's starting to invest more in the universities, which is really a good thing over time because it helps us control tuition. In fact, this week we will be submitting in the next few days our tuition recommendations for next year, and we're very closely watching what happens with the budget, because if the state is able to restore more of our budget, then we're going to do a much better job of keeping tuition down.
The 24-foot statue of Johnny Caw in Manhattan City Park is due for a big renovation. The fictional pioneer Kansas wheat farmer, who was created by K-State professor George Fillinger in the 50s to give Manhattan a local legend, got a statue of his own in 1966, which costed about $7,000. When it was constructed, all the materials and labor to make the statue happen in 1966 were donated. The renovation, which will include repairs to the statue, a whole new plaza, and also signs that help tell the story of Johnny Caw, will cost around $230,000. As of now, Manhattan's local organization Friends of Johnny Caw have raised all but $50,000 for the renovation. To help raise the final $50,000, the Friends of Johnny Caw are having a kick-off birthday party for the statue on May 10th in Manhattan City Park.
You can get Johnny Caw bobbleheads. We've got a fun run, birthday cake, hot dog eating contest. We're going to unveil the new version of the Tales of Johnny Caw, the book that Jill Fillinger wrote. We've redone the book, and so it's in the original content.
Hopefully, Evan, the renovations will brighten up the park.
And now we send it to What's Trending with Callie Ogborn, who takes a look at what has been making waves on social media. Callie.
Thanks, Evan and Raina. Welcome back to What's Trending, the show where we psychoanalyze internet subculture in an attempt to understand it. Kinda. First on the agenda is everyone's favorite excuse to do this. Star Wars Day! Luke Skywalker himself tweeted about it, and London Heathrow Airport changed the departure board to locations from a galaxy far, far away. May the 4th be with you. Next up, Hawaiian volcano Kilauea erupted yesterday, caused by a magnitude 5.0 earthquake. The eruption caused evacuations all around the island and opened a fissure in the ground. But just put some couch cushions and your mom's decorative throw pillows on the ground and walk across. That's the way it works, right? Last on the docket, Kanye West is back on Twitter, of course saying some wacky stuff about Trump and their dragon energies, and then some other stuff that just, I don't even understand. But by far, my favorite tweet from him was this, a picture of a phone with a screenshotted tweet uploaded to Instagram of Donald Trump replying to Kanye. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but first of all, does Kanye have two phones? That seems like something he would do. And does he know how to screenshot on them? It doesn't seem like it. And finally, is this a plea for help, Kanye? Just come home. Come home, Kanye. We're all worried about you. That's all for the last What's Trending of the semester. Back to Evan and Raina at the desk.
Thanks, Callie. Coming up after the break, Jack Bresser takes us around the business world in our Consumers Corner.
And Bree Smith runs us through next week on the community calendar.
I was so pleased with what I saw on the discussion boards last night. Who started the module?
K-State Global Campus offers flexible online learning, the same name brand education, quality programs, and recognized award-winning professors with the flexibility to fit your life.
Here you are, sir. Can I get you anything else?
For your comfort and safety, light baggage must be stored in the overhead.
K-State Global Campus, always on, always there.
The best-kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well
is near the Grand Canyon.
Welcome back. Jack Bresser has all the happenings within the business world this week. Jack.
Thanks, Evan. To kick things off, Cambridge Analytica has filed for bankruptcy and is shutting its doors for good. The data mining and analysis company was hired by the Trump campaign to gather political data and gained private information on over 50 million Facebook users. The company provided feedback on users' personalities to help Facebook influence voters. Due to the federal investigation of the Trump campaign and Facebook, the company has gotten a bad reputation and says that is the reason for the closure. If you have a Twitter, well, it's recommended you change your password. Yesterday, the social media giant discovered an internal bug that may have temporarily exposed 330 million users' passwords. The bug was corrected before damage was done, but suggests users update their passwords just to be safe. Ford will be taking out most of its cars by 2019. The U.S. car manufacturer announced early this week it will be ending the sales of the Fiesta, Focus, Fusion, Taurus, and its variants in the U.S. by 2019. The only cars that will be offered are the Mustang and Focus Active, a crossover version of the hatchback. This is in an effort to have 90% of its sales in 2020 be commercial vehicles, trucks, and SUVs. Finally, Adidas has posted its sales growth for the last quarter and is now ahead of Nike and Under Armour in the U.S. sales market. The apparel company has been behind in recent years and credits its growth to new celebrity partners like Pharrell Williams to help expand the market share. That's all we have time for here on Business and Consumer News. Back to you, Raina and Evan.
Thanks, Jack. Many K-State graduates are planning to move on to the workforce in the next week, but others intend to stay in school a little while longer.
Margot Coltrane has more.
Graduation is just around the corner for many K-State students. Some, however, may not be going too far. Chloe Nelson graduated this last December, but is about to start her graduate program in communication studies this coming fall at K-State, where she will continue her research in nonprofits for the next 2 years.
I came for the people and I stayed for the people, so I knew I would get a similar experience at different graduate schools with similar funding, but it didn't come down to the funding, it came down to the people.
Over 55% of master's students at K-State also attended the university for their undergrad programs. The most popular graduate programs include personal financial planning, academic advising, and food science. The graduate school office at K-State offers a variety of services for its students, such as interview and salary prep, research presentation practice, as well as transitional help from undergrad to graduate studies.
The reason I believe that they should come here is our strong academic programs, the support services that are available, the quality of our mentoring, and the success our graduate students have once they complete their graduate degrees.
Attending graduate school is no small task, but the continued education can be worth the advancement in one's career.
So definitely not somebody's like plan C. This should be your number one choice because you're going to dedicate probably a pretty good chunk of your life to either furthering your research or furthering just your knowledge in whatever you want to study. And so you definitely have to want it.
The graduate school graduation will be taking place Friday, May 11th at Bramlage Coliseum. In Manhattan, I'm Margot Coltrane, Channel 8 News.
To learn more about the services and opportunities the Graduate School Office has to offer, visit k-state.edu/grad. And now we send it to Bree Smith with your community calendar. Bree?
Thanks, Raina. First up on this week's community calendar, tomorrow from 8 in the morning until noon, check out the Fort Riley Yard Sale, where guests are able to browse for bargains at participating residences throughout the Fort Riley housing areas. Guests are asked to enter through the Henry Gate off exit 301. This week is also the final time to see Evita at Manhattan Arts Center. The thought-provoking performance takes place Friday and Saturday at 7:30 and then a matinee showing on Sunday at 2 p.m. Tickets are on sale at manhattanarts.org. For students that need to de-stress, look no further than Yoga and Coffee from 9 until 10 on Monday morning, taking place on the 5th floor of Hale Library in the Hemisphere Room. Hale Library is hoping to help you de-stress with these events. Tuesday night, the band Home Free will be in town as part of the McCain Performance Series. Home Free is a household name with more than 150 million YouTube views and over 250,000 fans dazzled with their live performances. The show begins at 7:30 and tickets are still available. On Friday, the Sunflower Showdown is reignited when the Jayhawks come to town. The K-State baseball teams take on their rivals beginning on Friday at 6:30. The team plays all weekend long, so be sure to get out on Saturday or Sunday and cheer on the Cats. That's all we have for the community calendar. Back to Evan and Raina at the desk.
Thanks, Bree. Coming up after the break, an update on one K-State golfer's trip to the Big 12 Championship.
And where some famous Wildcat football players are going to begin their NFL careers. Stay tuned.
Schultz one, high and deep to left, goodbye.
Shot to right, K-State's going to try and score two. Another play at the play, but this time Brevin slides past the tag. And Brad Hill is the all-time winningest coach in K-State history.
Spot that I love full well.
'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell.
I think of thee, alma mater.
We'll carry thy banner high. Long, long. May thy colors fly.
Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
A family that believes diversity, inclusion, and sportsmanship are expectations.
A family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive environment.
A family that treats all people with respect and dignity.
No matter their color, creed, gender, ethnicity, or sexual orientation.
We are an empowered family.
Who empowers family.
Welcome to K-State. This is who we are.
Raina, I have had no time this week to catch up on sports. Between studying for finals, getting all my ducks in a row for graduation, none at all.
Yeah, same here, Evan. But luckily, Braxton and Thane were able to find some time to squeeze in sports this week and are here to update us. Guys?
Thanks, Raina. Now, Thane, if anybody has had it good in the sports world this past few weeks, it's K-State golfer Jeremy Gandon. Now, let's not forget, he's fresh off of winning a co-championship at the Big 12 tournament. He was named to the all-conference team this week, and he's the Big 12 golfer of the month for the month of April. And now, to add to the list, he's headed to the NCAA tournament. Gandon, a junior from Charpie, France, accepted a bid to compete as the number 8 individual in the Stockton, California regional on Wednesday. He's only the 8th K-Stater in program history to qualify for the tournament, the first since 2015.
It's very exciting. I'm missing my first 2 years, and that was kind of the goal for the team to go there, and we didn't play that good this year, but doing it individual, it's always good, so pretty excited. I love K-State, I love that place, so obviously I mean a lot. Not only play for myself, but as well the school.
Braxton, sticking with the theme of selection, the NFL draft took place last weekend. While the Cleveland Browns took former K-State foe Baker Mayfield with the #1 pick, it was DJ Reed selected in the 5th round by the San Francisco 49ers that would extend the Cats' Big 12 draft streak to 25 years. While wearing purple, Reed was able to rally 103 tackles, 7 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles.
Now, Thane, that's true, but he's not the only one headed to the next level. You got quarterback Jesse Ertz, he'll try out for the New Orleans Saints. Wideout Byron Pringle signed a free agent deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. Will Geary is headed off to Philly for his shot with the reigning Super Bowl champs. And Matt McCrane inked a deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Chiefs also did some hometown love, visiting Fort Riley last Saturday for an exclusive draft event. The occasion was open to active duty soldiers and their families, with special guests that included the cheerleaders, the players, and of course, the fan favorite, Casey Wolf.
Channel 8 news reporter DJ Render had a chance to check out the draft event.
124th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, Kansas City Chiefs select Armani Watts.
The
NFL Draft is up and rolling here in Fort Riley, Kansas. The Kansas City Chiefs football organization and the Soldiers of Fort Riley teamed up to throw a draft day party for the ages. Fans from all over the state of Kansas made their way to Fort Riley to partake in this event. There was food to eat, games to play for the kids, and music for everyone to enjoy. However, with all the food and games to enjoy, that wasn't the topic of discussion. The fans wanted to see who the Chiefs were going to draft, and there was one lucky soldier that was fortunate enough to announce the draft picks, Dallas May.
I just kind of told him I'm a humongous Chiefs fan, probably the biggest one in this whole building, I'm not going to lie. And I just got lucky. It was all luck of the draw.
As you can see here at the Kansas City Chiefs draft day party, it was more than just a family fun event for all these families to have a great time, but it also meant something deeper to the players and the soldiers here in attendance.
I feel like this one is kind of like an appreciation thing, just giving back to the people that serve our country and put their lives on the line. So I think it's a good, a good event for me to come back and give back.
Like, I don't know, it's kind of emotional. Like, I was so pumped up there, and it's awesome. It's just, he did it. I'm like happy with tears. I'm just pumped. It made my whole life. Like kids, wife, Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs and the Soldiers of Fort Riley came together to have a great event for the 2018 NFL Draft. At Fort Riley, I am DJ Render, Channel 8 News.
Cool event. Now, Thane, we talked a lot about the draft. Now I'm going to put you on the clock. Got a minute to answer, series of questions. Let's get right into it. Now, the draft. Winners and losers, who had the best pick and why?
Ooh, best pick, Cleveland Browns. I love the Baker Mayfield pick, #1, taking a risk, competitor.
Okay, so let's go to the NBA playoffs. Now, my team, the OKC Thunder, got eliminated. I don't want to talk about it.
It was rough.
Who do you got and why?
Okay, well, LeBron's coming out of the East, but he ain't going to take it home. Houston Rockets are too good, and LeBron can't stop them.
You're crazy because you think Houston's getting over Golden State, but we'll get to it later. Now, back to the baseball. Let's go Royals. Rocky start, but what do you think they got to do to turn it around?
They're definitely going to have to step it up with the pitching and the defense. They're scoring runs, but they just can't keep it together.
Now, we talked about the Avengers a lot. Obviously, the #1 grossest movie. Like, it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how it ends. Don't tell me. Comparison to a professional athlete, who is it going to be? Let's say Captain America.
Ooh, Tom Brady. He's old, still leading teams. I mean, can't do much about that.
Okay, so back to the NBA. You got the MVP race and the Rookie of the Year. I got some opinions. I got some picks. Who do you have?
Beard's taking it from Houston, not OKC. And then Rookie of the Year, I was Ben Simmons a lot from the regular season, but Donovan Mitchell step up this postseason. He's taking it home.
Now, you got Donovan Mitchell over Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons had 2 points last night.
You're crazy. You're crazy. You know what? For the last time, we're going to throw it back to the desk of Evan and Raina.
Thanks, guys. Coming up after the break, Joshua Yankovic takes a look at how some K-State seniors are coping with their final week in school.
And we say goodbye one last time this semester. Stick with us.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. Cats and Sooners tied at 5, and the Cats trying to win a Big 12 title for the first time ever. Outside, it gets away to the plate. Kansas State has its title.
Ships it in the middle, a header into the goal, and a score for K-State.
Research. It's applying the bigger picture toward the greater good. Defending the world from adversaries, both seen and unseen. Interpreting realities to unlock solutions. It's our land-grant mission to serve our world utilizing sharp minds, from first-year students to world-renowned experts. What makes research so strong at Kansas State University? Vision. Progress. You.
Schultz one, high and deep to left, goodbye.
Shot to right. K-State's going to try and score 2. Another play at the plate, but this time Brevin slides past the tag. And Brad Hill is the all-time winningest coach in K-State history.
We are groundbreaking educators, laser-focused on inspiring students and sparking solutions. We are dedicated professionals, keeping campus safe, accessible, and inviting. We have big responsibilities, entrusted with serving our community and world. We are Kansas State University faculty and staff, and we have many titles, but one vision: always put family first. What turns profession into passion? Selflessness, integrity, you.
MHK All Day has 5 of our own graduating seniors this semester.
One of those joining us now is Joshua Yankovic. Josh, how's it feel to be in the final days of your college career?
Well, Evan, Raina, I'm feeling not too sentimental. Here, practically in the final days of the final hours of long hours of no pay and fighting to stay awake in group discussions. One thing's for certain, I'm kind of excited about the idea of sleeping in again. The most significant thing I learned while being here at this was doing the things I wanted to do, didn't want to do, and still being happy. For real though, if I could go back, I wouldn't change a thing. Along with fellow seniors Kelsey Kendall and Zach Radebaugh, we set up shop in the K-State Student Union and we went to see what other seniors would do with a do-over.
I guess like help freshmen more, or like be more involved with more freshmen because like from the different organizations I'm involved in.
So I'm like a big proponent of, I believe everything happens for a reason. So even though like there are things that I think about changing, I'm always like, I don't want to say that because everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't be here where I am today with all these possibilities for my future if I made plans to change anything in the past.
You know, I really came in not knowing what I wanted to do. So, and like everyone, I mean, it's very common. But, you know, I wish I would have joined more clubs to kind of be around like-minded people, but also kind of, you know, find what I'm interested in.
I think I would be more outspoken in the classroom because a lot of people doubt themselves before they speak up because, you know, you don't think you have the right answer or something, but everybody else feels the same way. So I think I would just rather be the one to speak out, and even if it's wrong, I'm still the one that spoke out, and that's good enough.
Okay, I mean, I don't really think I'd change anything. I loved my involvement on campus, my Greek life experience, my major, different clubs and stuff I was in, so I don't think I'd really change anything about it.
Well, I changed my major 3 times, so I would probably kind of work more in high school to see what I'm interested in and what I want to do so that whenever I went to college, I didn't have to go the extra years.
My advice to incoming freshmen would be don't come unless you're absolutely 100% certain that the reason you're here will change your life.
Give everything a chance, you know, give everything a fair shot. Try clubs, try activities with your friends, like do everything there is to do here, and even especially the things that scare you the most, like go after those things.
Get involved in things you're actually passionate about. Don't just get involved in everything randomly. Don't just do things just to say you're doing them if you don't actually love what you're doing. So.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Josh Yankovic. Back to Evan and Raina.
Thanks, Josh. And with that, we have come to the end of our show and the end of our semester.
We want to say thanks to everyone who tuned in throughout the year. We certainly appreciate the support.
Check us out on social media and check back with us next fall.
This is Channel 8 News.